let's get started. So, who am I? I am Nathan, if you haven't seen me before. I'm a dog trainer. I've got a multi-award winning dog training school. I'm a senior instructor for the Dog Training College. I am a behaviourist for the IMDT, accredited by the IMDTB. I'm an ambassador for the Pet Professional Network for L&D. Runner-up Dog Walker of the Year for 2 years running. Member of the Pet Professional Guild. And support member of the IABC. So quite a bit of credentials, really. So how does your dog respond when there's fireworks that are going off? So I'm just having a quick flick up so I can see everyone. You alright, Laura? So Courtney's saying that Axel pants, hides, climbs on you for a cuddle. Deborah, sun was set off about 4 p.m. and Monty was shaking for about 20 minutes. You alright, Abigail? Courtney says you also sweat. You alright, Ryan? You alright, Gail? You alright, Joanne and Leah and Mary. Hello, everyone. So quite a few different responses there. Sweat's a good one, actually. I've missed that off here, which I shouldn't have, because Chloe sweats when she's stressed as well. There's quite a few different responses that you get from different dogs. So throughout tonight, this is going to be a bit of a deep dive, so we might go on for about half hour to an hour, maybe, depending on how many questions there is. So what are we going to discuss? I'm just bringing that down a little bit. There we go. It's a bit better. You can see us now. So we're going to start with the law on fireworks. Very quickly touch on that. Very quickly touch on why dogs are scared of them. What to do when the fireworks start. What to do if you get caught outside when the fireworks are going off. How to prepare for bonfire night. I'm going to spend a little bit longer on that. We're going to talk about the fireworks tracks. These ones that you download. Or that you play in the background while your dog's doing something. We're going to touch on them, when they're useful, and why just that isn't enough. Because quite frankly, it's not. And then we're going to look at some real games that we can play to help our dogs. Do have a lot of stuff, so I'll set everything up so you can actually watch some real live dog training. So, quickly start with the law. So, Fireworks Act is quite important. Basically, no one under the age of 18 can buy category 2 or 3 fireworks, and fireworks aren't allowed to set off during night hours, which are 11 p.m. until 7 a.m. So basically between 7 a.m. in the morning and 9 p.m. at night, fireworks can go off. Except for Chinese New Year, Bonfire Night, Day of Diwali, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, and New Year's Eve and Day. Your maximum decibels is 120. That is allowed to be sold. So essentially, pretty much anyone, any adult can buy or possess fireworks in a public place and can set them off in a public place. Also, you've got in other areas that aren't public places, like gardens and things like that, where under 18s can even set them off there. 120 decibel is loud. So they're going to be loud, basically. It's a bit annoying, never mind. The Animal Welfare Act does mention causing unnecessary suffering, which a lot of people do say that fireworks are causing unnecessary suffering. Person commits offence if they cause an animal to suffer deliberately or do something a bit without thinking about the animals, knew or ought to have known that it would have impacted the animals, if the animal is a protected animal, or they do unnecessary suffering. I think there is a set distance that they have to be from like sheep and horses, things like that as well. But for dogs, there's nothing at all. So why are dogs scared of fireworks? So dogs' hearing and is a lot better. There's no consistency. There's poor breeding, general noise sensitivity and lack of confidence, old age and health issues. There's a few more, but those tend to be the main ones. There was a 2013 study where half of the dogs that the surveys were done on showed a fear response. It was 49%, almost half. 23% showed strong anxiety towards noises, fireworks. Another study, which was done by the Dogs Trust, suggests that 72% of dogs are affected by fireworks. So dogs' hearing and fireworks consistency. So how does this affect our dogs? How does this mean that scared? Dogs' hearing, breed dependent, can be around 4 times as good as ours. So it's loud for us, it's going to be very loud for them. Even ones that we don't hear, they're going to hear quite clearly. Fireworks are random, so there's no consistency with them, different levels of noise, different tones. They come in clusters, there's no warning for them. And dogs have no idea what they are. If you didn't know what these fireworks were, you'd think someone was dropping bombs or something like that on you. So for dogs, we can't teach them that actually just fireworks, it's alright, not going to hurt you. So these things are really difficult for a lot of dogs to deal with. I liken this to, imagine you're in bed at night, you're fast asleep, and there's a loud bang comes from downstairs. What do? Do you ignore it? It's quite difficult to do, but some people are just able to ignore it. Do you lie awake anxious about what it was without going down there, or do you run downstairs to check? So all of these things our dogs can do. Some dogs can ignore it, some can be slightly anxious about it, others can have real fear responses towards it. Bella, bed. Then you've got breeding, or breeders. Puppies should start being habituated to noises, and especially fireworks, things like that. Vacuum cleaners, doorbells, people shouting, traffic, thunder, tracks, things like that, from 3 weeks old. So from 3 weeks, a breeder should be doing this work. If you're going to get a new puppy, always check with the breeder that they've done this sort of work with them. Otherwise, you're going to have a nervous dog, which no one wants. Puppies who experience a first thunderstorm by 16 weeks old are 2.26 times less likely to be scared of thunderstorms. So basically, puppies that have their first thunderstorms, this same thing could be said for fireworks season, before the age of 16 weeks, are less likely to be scared. Same with autumn dogs, fear of fireworks. Fear of specific triggers, smells, sights, sounds are also passed down genetically. So breeders shouldn't be breeding dogs that are fearful of different things. It's not good to breed them. If the dog reactive, scared of fireworks, very scared of noises, scared of different smells, and we know this. There was a study done on rats where they had rats in a cage. They fired in a scent of cherry blossom in the cage, and then they shocked the floor of the cage. Obviously, rats got scared, so as soon as they smelled that cherry blossom, they started getting scared, anticipating that the shock on the floor. Now, what happened was that these rats had baby rats, and when the baby rats smelled cherry blossom, they were also showing a fear response without ever having that shock on the floor. So these sounds, the fear of these sounds are passed down genetically. So you've got to be really careful where you buy the dog from, basically. General lack of confidence. Dogs that are in a constant state of anxiety are more likely to be startled by loud noises. Pessimism, so anything novel, any novel noises can be bad. Traumatic events can cause a sudden change in confidence, and an emotionally charged atmosphere and changes to lifestyle can also affect dogs' response. Old age. dogs start to get grumpy, same as us, start to get a little bit intolerant of loud noises. Pretty sure I started around about in early 20s to start getting grumpy around loud noises. Dogs often show fear responses towards loud noises way before they show any signs of aging as well. So often your first sign that a dog's aging is that they start becoming fearful of loud noises. Health issues, there's very close links with musculoskeletal health issues, ear problems, arthritis, loss of vision, and hypothyroidism. So if you do have a dog that is scared of these noises, fireworks, very responsive to different noises, get them a vet check. Have to get them a vet check. It's really important. So that is all about why dogs scared of noises. So any questions on that? Just scrolling up to see if there's any questions so far. Fair few people watching, so welcome. Cool. So, what about Bonfire Night itself? We're going to talk about this first, and then we're going to come on to a few other things. We need to understand what our dog does when they get anxious. So we need to start watching our dog. We need to start picking up on their normal body language so that we can tell when their body language is different, when they're showing fear responses or anxiety or panic, because they're three very different things. So you've got trembling, shaking, cowering, side-eyeing in the direction of the noises, lip licking, panting, drooling. The drool is like thick glue. It's really minging. Different to their normal kind of drool if you've got a drooly dog. Wanting more attention than usual or a little bit needy. Tail tucking, which is breed specific. Pacing around, running around, frantic movements. Then you get more serious with attempts of escape, which will be through doors, windows, cat flaps. Always watch your cat flaps. Hiding behind or under furniture. Vocalization, so crying, whining, howling, barking, those types of things. These are the signs of anxiety. Each dog is different. Even just pinning the ears back or something like that could be enough to show that they're in a different state of mind than what they usually are when they're relaxed. But over the next few weeks, really watch your dog so you can see very clearly whether they're anxious or not. So what I do on the day. Now, here is the plan, basically. Then I'm going to tell you how to prepare your dogs for this. So, take your dog out while it's still light. Your walk should be relatively calm. You don't want to get them really amped up. Definitely the day to do a lot of training, a lot of scent work, to tire them out without them starting to have that stress on the body of doing a lot of running around and a lot of exercise. Avoid letting them into the garden on the night where possible. So teach them a toilet cue. Ensure your garden is fully escape proof and take them out on a lead if you have to let them out, or keep them on a long line. Because there's an awful lot of dogs that fireworks will go out when they're in the garden and they'll find the way out of the garden. It's amazing how high a dog can jump when they're trying to escape. Make sure they're wearing an ID tag, even if they're in the house, just on the off chance that they do escape through a door or a window or anything like that. Don't leave them home alone. Stick to your normal routines. So we're going to talk about routines and how to change them beforehand if need be. Close your curtains. So this will dampen the sound and keeps the flashes of the light out, which can also cause a bit of anxiety for them. And keep your windows closed. Obviously, again, that dampens the sound. If your dog is settled, leave them be. Don't expect them to be anxious by the fireworks. If they are anxious, deal with it. If they're not anxious, let them be. If you start sensitizing them to it, then they're going to get more sensitized at the end of the day. Don't react to fireworks. Don't hold your breath. Waiting to see their response. Don't look at them. or in the direction of the noise. The only way we want this is for counter conditioning purposes. Again, we'll come on to that later. Make sure they've got enough water. It's amazing how much they can drink, especially if they're panting a lot, if they're drooling, it could really dehydrate them. So make sure they do have enough water. Personal safety, so something for owners, know your dog. A scared dog can react, it can be out of character. If they do get a fright, they could turn around and bite, so be really careful of that. Can I pet that dog? So there is some very nonsense advice out there that basically says that if you give your dog attention when they're fearful or showing a fearful response, you can reward the fearful response and it'll make them more fearful. Now that is absolute nonsense. Originally this comes from something called operant conditioning, which is a theory from the early 1900s. As we learn more, it's basically getting proven that it doesn't have a place in dog training. Operant conditioning is basically reinforcing or punishing a behaviour to make it more likely or less likely to happen again. Now, it's very different to a fear response behaviour. So a fear response is an emotional driven behaviour that's necessary for survival. If you reward or punish that behaviour, then you've still got that fear there. They're just going to have to pick a different behaviour. Comforting, and if you change the emotion, so if you change that fear, the behaviour goes away. So it's like if your dog is barking and lunging at other dogs because they're scared of other dogs, giving them a treat is not going to reinforce that fear, because other dogs are eventually going to predict food, which is going to make the other dog a good thing. So eventually your dog's going to see them and be like, oh, they mean food, I'm going to get my food. So, and they'll stop barking because you've changed that initial, the emotion that drives that behaviour. Hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let us know in the comments. So we're looking at what's underneath the behaviour, not just the behaviour itself. So comforting a scared dog, providing protection for the scared dog, feeding a scared dog when there is a banging if they are scared, isn't going to increase the fear. The only way that it's going to be is if you mollycoddle them. So this is something that's going to raise their arousal level, whilst kind of pitying them. You know yourself, if you've had a scary event and then you talk about it later and you talk about how kind of scary it is and how shocked, and someone's telling you how shocked you must have been and all this kind of thing, that reinforces that you should have been scared. Whereas if you're quite calm with them, if you're reassuring them, if you're giving them comfort, that is not going to reinforce that fearful behaviour. If you're like, oh no, it's so bad, oh no, what happened, oh no, that could reinforce that behaviour, couldn't it? It could, little girlie. Hello, do you want some mollycoddling too, dear? Yeah. Like that. So you want to keep any attention nice and calm, kind of pretend like nothing's happened, but reassure them that they're safe, essentially, is the long and short of that. So, you two lie down. Chloe, down. So you can't see it on here, but Bella is just literally lying on her back, just rolled over. So what if your dog gets caught out? So fireworks while you're on a walk. Oh, I'm just going to quickly check comments. Courtney says she does that for Axel when he sees people. That's good. The tree part, yeah. So When walking during the day, double check your equipment before you leave. Before you go anywhere, you need to double check your equipment. Have a second set of equipment on as well, if you've got any doubts whatsoever. So like a well-fitted harness, and then a collar. Or you can get these harnesses where they have the 3 straps instead of just the 2. So they can't actually physically get out of them. They're kind of escape-proof. And have your equipment attached to both of them. You can also get these little like short leads that just go from one bit of equipment to another. They can really secure them. Keep your dog on a lead. So this could be a long line. This could be just a standard lead. Even the most confident dogs could have a bit of a change, especially if they're getting older or if they're in pain or anything like that. They could even get a fright and just bolt. So really be prepared for that. If a firework does go off, see how your dog reacts. Give them a minute or so, see if they can recover. If they recover, carry on. If you think they're going to really struggle, then go back. But don't link running home with that firework going off. So give them a moment, reassure them a little bit, play a game. Because if as soon as that firework goes off, you run home, you're reinforcing. That is something that could reinforce. Or link the behaviour of going home to getting away from that firework. Keep an ID tag on, really important. That's going to be the quickest way of someone to get in contact with you if they find your dog that's run away. Be prepared with a list of local vets, council, social media pages, anywhere you can post if they do run away, and make sure their chip details are up to date. So all these are really important things. We need to start creating the routine for our dogs, and we need to start preparing them now. So it may be that, because essentially anything we do different on Bonfire night could get them to be a little bit more sensitized to what's going on around. They could be thinking, oh, that's different, it doesn't normally do that, getting a little anxious here, something's going on. So start closing your curtains earlier now. If you don't have curtains, it's a good idea to put like a sheet or something across the windows to, like I say, keep the flash out, and also dampen the sound a little bit as well. Every little helps at the end of the day. So start walking your dog earlier when it is light as well, so that they're used to it later on. Feed them earlier, because scared dogs might not eat as well. So make sure they've got a little bit of food in them at least, so they're not going to starve. And get your dog vet checked if you think they're going to be scared or they've shown fear responses to these kind of things before. Medication, while we're on about vets, it is important to look at medication if you think your dog does have anxiety, whether generalised or whether just around sounds. I don't understand what people's problem is with medicating the dogs. If you're scared of flying and you're going on holiday, if you're going for a long drive and you get car sick, even if you have a bit of generalized anxiety, you take medication. Why are we treating our dog differently for this? Our dogs have anxiety. Their brain works very similar to ours, releasing the same hormones. They've got the same kind of coping responses in a strange way. Why are we treating them different? Vets can prescribe medication that can help. Whether this is just something for the day or whether this is something more long-term, there is studies there where imepitoin was one of them, which is an epilepsy drug. That is a more recent study where they looked at generalized anxiety, noise, things like that. And after, I think it was 11 days, 76% of the people that took part in the study said they could see a difference and that they would keep their dog on that drug. There's also a lot of evidence which shows that this really speeds up the behaviour modification plan as well. So if you're doing training with them to help them with this, drugs can really help. Medication can be that huge factor, and it can be the difference between our dogs not being scared of fireworks anymore and staying scared of fireworks. It can be that change. As well as the length of time it takes. Building calmness. So, fearful response is more likely if your dog is already in a roused state. So if they're already excited and this loud noise goes off, they're going to have less time to process what's just happened, and they're going to go straight into that fearful response, which is going to be a lot more drastic than just your lower level anxiety response. Because then a lower level anxiety response they can cope with. They wait to see what happens next. They get to make a decision whether they should be worried about it or not. Whereas if they're already running around your room playing games and things like that, and firework goes off, they've only got that one real option there of kind of fight or flight, or panic. So, a couple of ways you can do this. As it starts getting darker, we can really help them with this. So create a calm area for your dog. Cover a crate with a blanket. Put it in somewhere comfortable for them. Put some comfy bedding in for them. Leave the door open so they can go in and out as they please, and then they can hide if they want. Start using food toys and rewarding them for calm behaviours. So if they choose to lie down, give them a good boy, good girl, and just calmly give them a little bit of food. So having that area to relax is really important. You can also think about the light. So dogs are more likely to relax, same as we are, when it's darker. So when it gets dark, our bodies and brains start releasing melatonin. And that's a kind of switch off hormone. So it can darken the room. I would say dim the room, so have a little bit of light on, so kind of like this room here is now. Because if there is a little bit of a firework light that comes through the side of a curtain or a blanket or whatever it is, that's going to dampen it that little bit. Whereas if you've got a pitch black room and there's a flash of light outside, that is going to sensitize them to that noise a little bit more. Start introducing common scents, so different smells. Scent triggers memory with us, does exactly the same thing for dogs. If there's something that relaxes them and they sniff it, they're going to feel more relaxed, same as we are. If they smell something scary, it's going to trigger that fear response, same as the rats that I mentioned earlier. The memories actually trigger a physiological change in the body, so it starts producing the hormones that was there at the time. And all you need to think about is it's different smells of maybe some, an ex-partner or a really drunken night that you had, where every time you smell that alcohol that you were drinking there, it makes you physically feel sick because you got that ill from it. Reminds us, it's going to remind them exactly the same. So we can start introducing these common smells. Vanilla, coconut, ginger, valerian scented essential oils. These are all really good dog friendly scents. Coconut and ginger are both proven for dogs to increase the amount of time that they spend sleeping. So coconut and ginger, two really good scents to introduce to dogs. So how to introduce them? Put it on a little bit of cloth and let them sniff each one. Present them. See which one your dog responds most positively to, so which one they seem to enjoy. You should know your dog well enough to be able to recognise this. Once you've found the scent, put a little bit onto their bed where they sleep soundly at night. Do this for a couple of weeks until the link between that scent and relaxation is well ingrained. And then introduce this to the place where you want your dog to relax on bonfire night. So the crate, your living room, the bed, a blanket that they can be in, a thunder shirt, T-touch wrap, anything like that. So introduce your scent now, really important. Really helps dogs. I mean, they have up to about 320,000 scent receptors, million scent receptors. Can't remember off the top of my head. It's going to bug us now. It's 320 million or thousand. Can't remember which one. And we have 6 million or 6,000. One of the two. So yeah. So calming music. Moving on from scents. Calming music. Music can calm dogs down like it does us. So what music does your dog like? Classical, reggae, rock. All different studies show these help different dogs. The studies that back up that all of these help dogs. There's also studies that say dogs favour these three. So play different music, see which one your dog enjoys. Music on the night can also drown out the fireworks, so that really can help. There was a case study by Bowman et al. In 2015. 2 groups of dogs, both with classical music. Group 1 had 7 days silence and 7 day music. Group 2 had 7 days of music and 7 days of silence. Both groups showed that there was less movement and barking when the music was played. Males responded better to the music, and the calming effect stopped after 7 days, which is interesting. Essentially, what I take from this is that dogs get bored of the same music over and over again, the same as we do. If you have the same album on over and over again, it just becomes background noise. You don't even notice it's there. You don't sing along to it anymore. It can get quite irritating. Same thing happens with dogs. So vary that type of music. Get something from radio stations, talk radio, YouTube playlists, dog TV, Spotify playlists. You'd get the point. So music can help on the day. You've got wraps. So I've got a bandage. Let's grab a belt or something. I'm sure my son won't mind us using his jiu-jitsu belt. Chloe, move. My dogs are determined to get run over tonight. So, I've got a bandage. I'm just going to use a jiu-jitsu belt. So for this, so you can see that there. Just going to put it on Bella. Sit. So what we'll do is we'll put this around the chest, like that. Wraps over on the top, comes down under a body, and then would be too short, wouldn't it? Back up to the top, and then you can tie it there. You like that, don't you? So Bella really likes Thunder Shirt instead of a wrap, but that wrap, that nice wrap can really help a dog and calm them down a bit. So let's get that back off you. Otherwise you're going to get it covered in dog fur. And yeah, good girl. Go and lie down. So let's get you back up here. There we go. That's called a half wrap. If your dog doesn't like it and want to take it off, let them take it off for them. Senior dogs, you want to be doing this 2 to 3 times a day. What you got? Oh, squeaker. For short 15-20 minutes. Otherwise they could get used to it and that awareness is gone. So this can really help for anxious dogs. Start prepping them with that and learn how to do that now, basically. You get a Thunder Shirt as well. So this is kind of like a similar sort of idea. It goes along the back and along the body and along the chest. And it can just tighten that a little bit. And it helps some dogs keep them calm. Definitely worth a shot. I would say dog specific to whether it helps or not. So, desensitization and counter conditioning. This is the training part of it. This is where we can actually train our dogs to stop being anxious about different noises and really help them. This is the training that's going to make that real difference to long-term success of teaching them that they don't have to be scared of fireworks and things. So let's talk about backing tracks to begin with. These are... So I'm trying not to run my dogs over. These are what you can get from the Dogs Trust website. I think Vicky Stillwell has them on her website as well. They can help, but it's not the be all and end all. A lot of trainers are singing and dancing about these and saying that this is all you need to do. It's not. It's really not. Few reasons. So the vibrations are very different to a loud firework going off outside. Very different to you playing firework noise through your phone. Your body language and actions are different when it's through a phone, so they pick up on that. If you go over, turn a speaker on, and then go and get them a Kong or something like that, they know that that's safe. Whereas when the bangs go off, you're not prepared for that, so you don't respond in the same way. The noise is from different directions. So again, they know the difference, and they're not random enough. So it's very, very pre-programmed, if you will. We set the time, our actions are the same, we know they're going to go off, so we have that different response. It's just not enough to stop a dog being scared of fireworks. I'm yet to see any single responses from dogs where that alone has changed their response. But it can help. It's part of that puzzle that we're putting together. So how to use backing tracks. Speakers around the windows and doors. Little Bluetooth speakers or something like that from your phone. So all the same noises coming from all the same directions. Same directions as the fireworks are going to be. Start really low volume. Start watching your dog's body language. Give them a food toy straight away as soon as those noises start. Or start a training session. Now that is the preferred option. So just treat them a new trick, a shaping game, or a sit or a down, or whatever you want to do with your dog. And do some really short sessions to begin with. Gradually build it up. Gradually increase the volume until it's as loud as you possibly can get it. Watch the body language at all times. And it's part of the puzzle. It might help them slightly. Definitely it's not wasted time if you're going to do that, but it's not everything. So that's part of it. Now, let's bring yous all down here. So we're going to actually play a few games with the dogs that should help. So, just sorting out my tripod. Tripod is awful. So, Chloe, can you shift off that chair, please? I know, that was exciting, wasn't it? I know, exciting. Right, in your bed. Go, bed. So, from there, we're going to start with something called a noise box. So, basically, it's a box of rubbish. Different things in here, shakers, bottles with stones in them, empty bottles, different size bottles. Some of these have water in, some of them don't. You can get a few treats. So what I'm going to do to begin with is just start with 1 or 2 items in. I should have had another box for this, but I haven't, so never mind. So I know my dog's going to be alright, so I'm just going to start with that. So that's what I'm going to start with. So I'm going to put that down there and just let her investigate. Chloe, bed. And then I'm just going to start sprinkling some food in. So she's going to start making noise. This noise is going to be novel because she's got to get through that box. So see that little flinch that she had there? So that was a little bit nervousness to the noise. She is quite a jumpy dog. Lie down, Chloe. So I'm going to bring this over here so you can all see. Oh. So just getting her to start making that noise. Now, this noise is going to be really noisy for her. Obviously, her head's right next to it, her ears right next to it, but she's choosing to make that noise. So whilst she's choosing to make that noise, she's getting rewarded for it. So she's starting to get desensitized to these loud noises. Again, watch your body language. So I'm just going to keep putting random objects in without trying to scare it at the same time. I'm just going to build this up. So she should do alright with quite a few things. So as you can see, there's a lot of noise going on there. She's also just kicked the box. So I would just fill this. A lot of different things. To start desensitizing her to these noises, basically. It doesn't have to just be bottles. It's all I had on hand at the minute. Anything that really makes noise. So Axel was crap himself. He hates anything like that. So start really easy. So start with him just eating out of the box to begin with. Then gradually put one item in. So he's eating around that one. Then 2 items. And just take it really slowly to start getting him used to it. Things like leaves and things like this for dogs that are underconfident outside can really help as well. So I've a bit off topic. I've just thrown some treats for Chloe because she's just lying nicely in the corner while Bella does this. And one of them's just stuck on her head, just under the fur, and she can't get it, but she can clearly smell it. She's just being a little bit silly. But he'd be happy to play with the bottles. Yeah, so the noisy bottles are often quite good as well. So you get the point here. She's essentially making a lot of noise. Obviously, the more full that is, then the more noise she's going to make. So the next thing we're going to do is shaping a noisy toy, so get them to do something with that. Chloe, come here. So at the minute, she's just staring into the space, trying to sniff her own head, because there is a treat somewhere. Where's that treat gone? Oh, did you get it? Did you? Is this smell still on your face? So, I'm going to show you the next game now. I'm going to swap dogs. So, now, Bella, go in your bed. Just pick one. Lie down. So, I had a quick look through for a noisy toy. This is the best thing that I could find in my 5-year-old's bedroom that made a noise. So, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can get them to paw it. There we go. Good. You can get them to paw at it. You can get them to touch things with the nose. Good girl. So she knows the crack with this. Good girl. So she knows she's got to make this item make a noise, and then she gets rewarded. Good girl. So essentially, what I'd do I would start with good girl, rewarding any interaction with this. So if she looked at it, good girl. If she took a step towards it, if she sniffed it, and then eventually I would want more from it. So I would want her to push a button on it. This could be a bell. This could be good girl. This could be a like a buzzer. This could be a bottle. This could literally be anything. Clickers, for example. If I held a clicker out and I want her to make a noise, so she's trying to make a noise. Good girl. So she knows this because we've done a lot of it. You're enjoying that guitar, aren't you? This is actually the first time she's seen a guitar doing this with this. We've never done this with a guitar, so she's doing really well. So try it with as many different noisy items as you can. Get them to really interact with these because it really will help. So I'm going to put that away because you're having far too much fun with that. It could just be a bottle. So if I put that down, good girl. So she crushed it a little bit whilst she was throwing it under the sofa, under the chair. Where's that gone? So I'm going to actually put there. Good girl. So getting her to make a lot of noise with that, and then she gets rewarded for making the noise. So this kind of stuff can really help. Good girl. And actually get them to make noise, and then teach them that noises mean good things. Good girl. So this is our more active training that we can do, rather than just that passive training of noise in the background and doing that little bit of work while they're doing it. Where did I put the box? So other things we can do is obstacle courses, get them to walk across things as well. So with that there, I'm going to just try. She's having a whale of time here. She's having so much fun. Chloe, so what you can do is get them just to follow that little bit of food around things and just step over stuff. Make those little bits of, good girl. Make those little bits of noises. That's the first time she's ever heard rocks in a bottle. So, good girl. So we're just doing a little bit of self-awareness training here. Body awareness training, and getting her to make some noise, stepping over things, getting used to it. Bella, do you want to come play? Bella? So we can do the same with Bella. Get them both doing things. So Bella's a little bit more nervous. So Chloe, will you go back in your bed, please? Chloe, bed. Lie down. Bella. So, and get Bella doing the same. I'm going to get all those everywhere. And now she's so excited to start. So, so she, see how she's a little bit more nervous there with the way paws are going? Good girl. So I just wanted to touch these things with the paws. Good girl. And we're just building that general confidence, but around noisy items. Good girl. So this could be like piles of sticks when you're on walks, or leaves or anything like that. So see this, how she's a little bit more nervous. See the body language that's going on? She's really cautious about where she's putting her paws. She's really trying not to step on stuff. Good. She's leaning quite a lot, so she's leaning into things and out of things. This is a lot easier if you stand up and just get her to walk straight along. Good girl. But this is really good for them. Just really building that confidence up. Good. Good girl. So this is like that noisy obstacle course that's there. So this is just a really good option that you've got. And again, something that can really start getting them used to those different spells. You can also do things like have a noise in the background while you do a little bit of training with them. So sit. Pretty. Good girl. So they're getting used to noises in the background for things, and then not being scared of them, and desensitized to them, so they're still able to think and work around those kinds of noises. Whoa. Camera down. It's not what you want off a brand new iPhone 12 Pro. Just got today. So other things you can do let's point yours back down here. So I'm going to just put Chloe away because she's trying to eat a bottle of rocks. Chloe, over here. Put in your bed. Down. And I want Bella for this one because she's going to show you a little bit better than what Chloe would. Hello. So down here we've got a pile of cardboard. I'm just going to move so you can actually see what we're doing. Push that chair in. So, pile of cardboard. Now this is going to be really noisy for her. Again, we're going to have a little bit of movement in this, rather than just the noise. We're going to get both. Everything's going to move. It's going to be really loud for her. And basically, I want her to start moving the boxes and snuffling around them for food. I want her to do things that she's not used to doing, put herself in positions she's not really used to. Again, gradually build this up. So start with it, just one box on, and put food just on the outside, then gradually put it in, then get 2 boxes, then start stacking them like these are. So see how she's leaning back slightly and really leaning into it. She's not just throwing a whole body into that. So she's quite nervous. She is my sound sensitive dog as well. Of all of them, she's probably the most bothered about fireworks. So I'm just getting it into here. So see how she's really cautious about what she's doing. You can just hear that little nose going as well. Should I find it? Good girl. So a little bit of movement there, a little bit more confidence going on. See how she's flinching at the movements at the minute? So I want to get to the point where she can just kind of dive across the boxes. Find it? Go on, you can do it. Good. So she's starting to move things, starting to build that little bit of confidence. The good thing about this is that it's different every time, so it's not just the same. So you've got different noises, different sounds, different boxes that are falling. When you get boxes that are really just tumbling on top of each other, this is a really good one because that's really loud for them. They've chosen to do that though, and then they've got rewarded for it. So it's all working on their choice rather than having these noises forced on them and then having to deal with it. Good girl. So she moved a lot there. So this is Cardboard Chaos. This is a really good one. You can actually include a lot of bottles and things like that in this as well, so you get even more noise as you want to level this up. I love watching them do these things. Go on, you can do a little Bella. Good. So if anyone's wondering why it's having a bit of a disco in here, that's the tail going behind the light. Good girl. So she really flinched there, but then she's recovered. She's recovered straight away. So she's learning to deal with these, and they're not that bad. Good girl. Just giving her a little bit of encouragement there. Just a little bit of good girls going on as well. So you can see just how she's stretching over. So her legs are over here. Back legs, and then the front legs are kind of well over there. And then just letting out a good sniff around. The only problem is with this is you've got to clean up all the mess afterwards, don't we? Don't we? Look at you. Good. So you can combine all these games together as well. So she's just stepped on it. One of the shakers from earlier as well. Again, you're just watching your dog's body language. This is really good to see how they respond to noises as well. And any dog can do this, and it's really simple bits of training. You can use a dinner to do this instead of treats as well. Good girl. So see how she's moving things a lot more. She's becoming more confident about everything. Right now she's trying to move a key ring that's laying left in the box to try and get a treat that's past it. Good girl. You got them all, have you? Good girl. And you can see she's enjoying it. And yeah. So good. So that is Cardboard Chaos. That's just a few games we can play with them. Just going to put yours back up here. So does anyone have any questions about those? I've got one of these tripod things that like folds around stuff. It's really faffy to try and actually get it to grip anything. How do I do this? There we go. There we go. Hopefully that's gonna stay. We're gonna stay there. Yes, yes it is. One little knock and that's gonna go all over. Try not to break the new iPhone. So yeah, that's basically some different games that you can do. Deborah's asking, would you do a different noise game each day or focus on one for a few days? I would want absolutely no rhyme or reason to any of this. So I would want everything to be pretty random. So I'd probably either play a different game every day or a different variation of the game every day. So even if I was putting the boxes back up for Cardboard Chaos, I might throw in the odd bottle. I would change the setup. I would remove boxes. I would put boxes in. For the noise on the floor, you can use different items, different setups for everything. It's one of these are those games where it can be something completely different every single day. As you get better with the shaping games, so the one where I had the guitar out, these two are having a whale of a time behind me. As you start changing toys and changing things that make noise, they'll get better at it, they'll get quicker at it, so you can start switching them, so you have different items quite a bit, and you can fly through several different things. That is Chloe playing with a shaker behind me, if anyone's wondering. So those are some of the games that you can play. Now, these are more desensitization games, the same as back and tracks. So I would say you've got active and passive games. So your active games are these things which is done. You've got your passive games, which are the ones that we've done earlier. Now, your final step for this is counter conditioning. This is where you teach your dog that a noise isn't scary and it actually predicts good things. This is probably the basics of dog training that seems to get missed out far too often. Just gonna bring us down a little bit there. Hopefully my phone won't drop. Oh, stay. Good phone. Oh, that is Chloe diving into everything. So we do this with a method called DMT. Chloe, will you leave that, please? And Bella, will you go and lie down? Bella, go and lie down. one lies down, the other gets up. Have a bit of a scratch. So, counter conditioning. We use something called DMT, which is distraction, mark, and treat. Your distraction is your fireworks or any loud noise at the minute, whether that's on the telly, whether that's a noise that comes through your phone, whether your pots and pans fall out of the cupboard, whether you put a cup down on a glass table, whatever noise that goes off, even if it's something they don't respond to at all, we're going to mark it with a marker word. So we're going to say the word treat, and then we're going to feed them a treat. So to introduce that treat word, you're just going to say treat, feed, 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 until they associate the word treat with getting fed. Then, like I say, any noise, you're going to say treat, you're going to give them a treat. Once they're happy doing this, once they know how this game works, you're going to do the exact same thing with fireworks. So when a firework goes off, you're going to say treat, and you're going to give them a treat. If a cluster of fireworks goes off, you're going to say treat, and you're going to scatter some food to the floor so they're eating while those fireworks are going off. Eventually, throughout Bonfire night and up to New Year's, fireworks are going to go off, and your dog's going to look at you for food. They're not going to be scared anymore. They're going to be like, fireworks gone off, mate. Where's your food? That is the real way we can really transform our dog's fears of this into something really good. And we can really help them to cope. We can really help them to change that emotion behind their fear of fireworks. And we can even have a bit of fun with them in the meantime, which is what dog training's all about at the end of the day. So, that brings me to the end of the live. So does anyone have any questions about any of this or anything that they want to say? You're right, Anita. Just scrolling back through to make sure I haven't missed anything. So I'll give everyone a few moments to ask anything while I figure out what I'm doing with this. I'm just quickly gonna have a look through the other ones as well to make sure I'm not missing anything anywhere else. So what happens if you're out of the house and a firework goes off? There's not really much you can do, really, at the end of the day. If you know fireworks are going to go off, then you can help them. If a firework goes off when you're not there, give them that safe space. So make sure they've got somewhere that they can go to relax a bit, rather than getting completely terrified. Ideally, though, don't leave them alone for over fireworks night, because then it could be a bit of a recipe for disaster. They could try and escape. So yeah, I'm trying to find the other live things so I can make sure I haven't missed any comments. So, cool. So, if there's no more questions, then I hope this helped. Like I say, if this did help, give us a vote on the link that's there. We're coming up to the last week of the Dog Trainer of the Year award. So, we're after all of what we can get. We're not winning at the minute. It's long and short of it. We still need about 50 votes to get us there. So if you don't mind giving us a vote, that would be awesome. And I would love you forever. So if you've been using the word treat, that is fine. using the word yes when training, that's fine as well. Especially if they already know that. So yeah, you can use that. Yeah, so if you've got to go out, you can still do everything else that you would do on Bonfire night. Obviously, it's just better if you don't go out and leave them alone. So exactly what we've gone through for on the night. I'd probably avoid wraps and the thunder jacket, just in case they get caught on something if they do panic. But your music to drown it out a bit and something that they like, common sense, common areas, all that you can still use. He's got a favourite movie. What's his favourite movie? That's quite funny. So while I wait for you to reply, Courtney, has anyone got any other questions? Or can I go and get some tea? So if there's no more questions, I will go. This will be here to rewatch. I'm hoping to be able to put the video of the slideshows that I used to that I made to read off while I was doing this. So I'm hoping to put that as a download as well from the website. Hopefully do that over the next couple of days. And then you can rewatch this. You can download it. You can rewatch it as many times as you want. So yeah, Lady and the Tramp. It's quite funny. That's funny. So yeah, so hope you've enjoyed it. You're very welcome, Deborah. And I will see you all again with another live soon. And hope all your dogs cope well during Bonfire night. So see you all later.